Hello. I'm feeling good about the audio for once, and I am going to check it anyways, but we are in for a really exciting and fun last stream of 2024. So let's get it kicked off with hey, it's your favorite and my favorite, the audio check. We're going through the rudimentary audio check. Boomathy, we've got it. We are live streaming sound. Um, I'm still having issues with pixelated thumbnails. I need to figure that out in the new year. That's one of my resolutions for work. Uh, I had it. I need to just check back in and see how it's all been. Let's actually do that right now because some of my thumbnails for my live streams look bad. They look low res. And I can't remember if what I did to fix that a while ago worked or not. So while it's top of mind, I'm going to see. Looks like maybe they got fixed for a bit. This is so crazy, y'all. Look at all the live streams. Wow. I think that actually is probably one of my first 2024 faves. It has been so fun and interesting and not something that I ever would have expected to be one of my things that I do at work, but doing these late daily live streams have been quite fun. And I also, in that same category, I'm loving the holding the mic, sipping Diet Coke, talking live stream. I've been having a blast, and I feel like it's leading to better content too. I hope so. Grab yourself a beverage of choice, kick back, relax, and share some laughs with me. I'm going to do my 2024 favorites. This is like my personal favorites list. But obviously, a lot of Driven Catalyst stuff has been on my personal favorites list this year. So that's involved. I also didn't make a list, which is probably a mistake on my part, but I think that's like a true testament to faves, is what you can think of off the top of your head. It's also going to be a little bit funny because I am not a chill person. I struggle with not talking about the things that I like and enjoy. And so I'm sure this is going to be like kind of a refresher for a lot of people, if you've been watching the live streams, because I feel like I talk about the things that I like a lot. So off the top, something that really stands out to me that I started doing in 2024 that has like absolutely been big, pivotal, life-changing, loved it, is reading for fun again. And so there's a lot that could be talked about with that. Faves, I have a Kindle. I think I really liked reading though with the native like Apple Books app, the iBooks app. Um it's been a minute since I've used it though, but it was definitely a fave for a bit. Uh I liked being able to have they had some stats that I preferred. Let me pull it up. Yeah, I liked it would tell me how much I read today, stuff like that. Um, that's, like, a bit different from the Kindle book. I like just the Kindle app. I liked the stats it would give me. I also am not obsessed with how the Kindle app is laid out. I really don't love either that it, like, shows me other stuff. I like share, and I know there's an easy fix for this because my boss knows everything and he tells me all the things that I can do to make my life better. But it's just sort of complicated, so I don't necessarily opt to take those steps. But I share my Amazon Prime account with my whole family. And so I'm like not obsessed with having their books in my Kindle library. And I'm definitely not loving that my books are in their Kindle library, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, and you have to accept it even though you don't have to accept it. There are ways around it, but it would make your life a little bit more complicated, and you just don't feel like taking those steps. So, with that, I do think, like, the Apple Books app is probably what I would prefer, but, I generally use the Kindle app because I have a Kindle, and so I like the compatibility. But I read way more when I'm reading on my phone. I just also go cross-eyed and get headaches. Um, the books that I started reading for fun again with, though, are, and this will probably come as no surprise to anyone, like, if you know the vibes, you know, the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. So yeah, that's how I got back into reading for fun. I am a memoir girl through and through. I love reading memoirs, and, I embarrassingly enough was just in such, like, a memoir, short essays era, and I stopped reading because of it. Everything was really heady, and I was thinking a lot, and it was kind of way more fun to have a when I settle down at night, I'm escaping into a different world for a bit, and, like, I, like, would, like, miss my little characters and miss my little world. Like, that vibe was just so good for me this year. Um and so the ACOTAR series was, like, definitely a fave. That being said, I feel like I also got into reading novels that had a similar life impact to me. So, like, ACOTAR was just, like, a fun guilty pleasure read, um, and I don't feel guilty about it because so many people have read that series, and so it's, like, such a fun means of connection too. Like, I'll see memes, I'll see, uh like TikTok jokes or whatever, AI art that people share. I got into it because, my best friend was like, "Okay, you, like, have to read it, and if you" she was, like, in the mood to reread she wanted to live in that universe again, but she was like, "What am I gonna do? Reread the books?" Which, yes, she ended up doing, but, before that, she was like, "There's a creator online that talks through the plots of all the books," and so she was like, "Do you wanna come over and watch those with me?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And so then it was so cute. She would send me, like, fan art and, like, AI art that people had generated of, like, these different characters and of the worlds, and, like, it was almost like this multimedia presentation that we were doing as we would sit and watch the book plot explained, and then she would be like, "Okay," and then send a video or send a picture and be like, "And that's Feyre." So, it was just super cute and fun, and then that was so fun that, like, after the first book, we made it through the first book video, and I was like, "Wait, I'm in, like, I'll read them." And, I still have 2 more. I'm halfway through the the one that's people call it, like, the holiday special book. I'm hoping that over the holidays, I'm able to finish both of them, but I have that one and then the final book I need to read. But yeah, love the ACOTAR series, and then the book that I read one of Leslie Feinberg's books, and, uh, that was the book that, like, it felt like it was scratching the itch that I would get from reading memoirs where I would just uh feel like I was being spurred to think about important things and, like, really kind of, do internal housekeeping. I do like that reading does that for you, um, but it was, like, in a novel context, so I was still kind of in this universe and with these characters that I was visiting and loving and wanting to go back and spend time with. So I was still doing that. Um, but when it wasn't uh like when it was a novel instead of a memoir, wait, hold on. It was a more impactful read kind of than fantasy, like, the genre of it. I don't know, like, maybe historical fiction. It's one of those books that, like, could be a memoir, but isn't necessarily, and the novel elements of it, like, the fact that it is a novel, um, like, kept it pushing for me, and I just that's easily, like, one of my favorite books of all time, so that's, like, my reading highlights. My favorite TV series that I watched this year was Severance, directed by Ben Stiller, starring Adam Scott. So good. I watched that twice or 3 times all the way through this year. It is absolutely one of those shows that as soon as you finish it, like, it's kind of slow to get into, but, like, once you're in, you're locked in, and the final episode of the 1st season is so insane. So insane. I, like, actually wanna wear a heart monitor and know what my body does as I watch it because oh my gosh, I just don't you just have to watch it. Severance on Apple TV, so good. Season 2 is coming January 17th, I think, which is crazy because it came out a while ago. I, like, lucked out because there's a book called Severance by Ling Ma, I think. Ling Ma. Let's see. Severance, because I started listening to the audiobook. Yes, by Ling Ma. I started listening to the audiobook and, found out then there was a show called Severance, and so I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay. So as soon as I'm done with the audiobook, we need to watch the show," because the book comes highly recommended. Um, well, then I found out that they're totally unaffiliated, not related at all. Um, and so then I was like, "Oh, well, then I guess should we watch the show anyways?" So we watched the show, and it's phenomenal, and I ended up not finishing the audiobook, but I should circle back sometime. So yeah, absolutely favorite show, Severance. Favorite movie that came out this year, I could really look at my Letterboxd, and I don't know if I'll go with came out this year. I could just say, like, the favorite movie that I watched this year, but even that is still hard. I will say I watched Barbarian, which is a horror movie, and that is generally not a genre I lean towards, but it was really good. It had kind of everything for me. It wasn't too disturbing it's a pretty disturbing gory show. So saying it didn't wasn't too disturbing gory feels a little bit crazy, but it wasn't too gratuitous, and it was a horror movie with a message, I feel like there was a lot to be analyzed and thought about, and I really like media like that. So, the fact that it was the horror genre and it was doing so much for my analytical brain, I just really liked, and I really like thrillers. I like psychological thrillers, and, I think the way that it engages with your analytical mind, if you let it, in that regard, makes it kind of more than just a gory creature feature, if you will. It's, yeah, just really, really good. It's also just like, sometimes I do like horror where it feels like, what's the worst possible thing that could happen, and then let's watch it. Like, sometimes that is good for me because I kind of catastrophize like that, and so it was kind of that, and I didn't expect it to be that, and I kind of liked that. Also, there's a lot of unique and cool uh, cinematographic choices being made. Visually, it's a nice film. I like the cast, and there were moments that could have been really, really, really gratuitous in their depiction, and they did just enough to make you feel really uncomfortable and at least me. They did just enough for me to understand and, like, feel my stomach drop and, not too much such that I could finish the movie and I didn't, like, just totally it wasn't too much for me to watch. So yeah, really loved Barbarian, didn't expect to talk about it for that long. Let me actually look at my Letterboxd because I may as well use my resources. I actually have a list on Letterboxd that's all the movies I watched this year. Oh, Baby Reindeer, I enjoyed watching a lot. I didn't expect it to be something that I would like so much, but I'm really just impressed by the fact that, again, I'm very compelled by media that has a unique backstory, and I was very compelled by the fact that he, um, lived it, wrote it, acted in it, and it's just such a crazy traumatic story. Um, so yeah, definitely a fave. Oh, okay. The movie with the Aubrey Plaza movie that came out that has, a word that I don't know if I can say on live stream at work in the title, My Old. Um, that was such a good movie, really liked that. And then I watched Our Little Secret, the new Lindsay Lohan Christmas film, and that was a fun watch, really cute, really fun. Crazy. So, I would say those are, like, my faves in the movie realm. Those are the ones I feel like mentioning. Gonna keep it moving. Favorite album probably this year was okay, so I have a couple. I have an album that didn't come out this year, but I sort of really dug in this year. I think. Let me make sure. It may have come out this year, but I'm not totally positive. No, okay, so it's 2022. So, the band Flock of Dimes has an album, Head of Roses, that came out in 2021, and I absolutely adored the album. Well, in 2022, and I didn't realize this until this year, Head of Roses Phantom Limb came out, and it is Head of Roses, but with a lot of really high quality live performance recordings of some of the songs, and there are some new songs on it as well. And it is just one of the most beautiful albums ever. I love it so much. That is absolutely one of my favorites of the year. Um, Different vibe completely. Gracie Abrams' The Secret of Us album was so important to me this year in such a big way. Like, oh my god, I saw her live. She's just phenomenal. Love the deluxe tracks. I love Gracie Abrams. I love her. So, definitely a fave. Allison Pontier. Pontier. Yes. Okay. I always want to make sure I'm saying her name right because that's my North Texas girl. Love Alison Pontier. Her EP, Breaking the Fourth Wall, came out this year, and it is absolutely one of my faves. Do yourself a favor. Katie Gavin's new album, Katie Gavin of Muna. What a relief. Her solo album. Huh. I opened the album. I have every single song saved. Love that. That's absolutely one of my 2024 faves. Unsuspected faves. I've been really into the song Jackie and Wilson from Hozier recently. Loving that one. And then, oh, Taylor Swift, of course, came out with Tortured Poets Department this year. It's a good album. I don't know that it's in my 2024 faves, but I have certainly listened to it and loved it. Maggie Rogers, If Now Was Then, is one of my favorite songs right now. So those are some good music faves for 2024. Let's see. Oh, another 2024 fave. Over Thanksgiving, my grandma made a cake that she has never made before. It was a pistachio cake and she made it in like a bundt cake and then it had like pistachio crumbles all over it. And I can't remember if it was a cream cheese frosting or not. But oh my gosh, so good. It was the perfect amount of moist. It was the perfect amount of sweet and salty or it's sort of, like not too sweet for a bundt cake. It's just excellent. It's excellent. Um, like actually tasted it and was like, oh, this is gonna be my wedding cake someday. Like it's so good. I love that it's green. I'm a green girl through and through. So that was absolutely a fave. Um, Doing mocha coffee with oat milk in it was a 2024 fave. Let's see. Should I talk through favorite apps? Yes, so obviously Reflow and Hack Arcade were 2024 faves. Hack Arcade is a nostalgic level up on the classic arcade games you know and love. We incorporated coins recently, so gameplay just got mixed up in the best way possible. New goals to work towards. Absolutely such a fun game. Um, and then Reflow. Making content with Reflow has been really fun. Um, it's basically an augmented reality messaging app where you can film yourself or film your kid or your friend or whatever, anything, and you can put them in your room like hologram style. So I don't know how to show you, but download Reflow and find out for yourself. Those are probably my fave 2024 apps. Stats FM is probably a fave 2024 app. It's basically your not Discover Weekly, your Spotify Wrapped, but year round. You can check in and see what's going on. I'm trying to think if there were any other standout apps for me. It's been a big year for widgets for me. I think that's probably it for apps. Letterboxd. I got on Letterboxd finally. I'm not obsessed with it, but it is fun to be participating in the real world like that. Or not the real world, just like very much like everyone in college around me had it. And so I'm finally like doing the thing, you know? This was one of my favorite apps. I finally paid for the subscription and it was well worth it. I play guitar very, very, very casually. It's one of my favorite things to do ever, but I say casually because by no means am I very good at all. But it's something I like to do and take a lot of joy in not needing to be good at it and just kind of doing it for me and to have fun. And, so I have always used Ultimate Guitar, which is, like a chord sheet and chord tab app, and I finally bought the premium subscription. I think it was like 20 bucks for the year. And, so instead of having to pull out a laptop and, like, go through that whole process every single time I wanna play guitar, I can just use my phone, which I couldn't do before. And I have played guitar so much more this year because of it, and it has been so good for me. 2024 has truly been the year for me uh, of like spending money on apps. I kind of have never wanted to, and I have really invested in convenience this year. Um, I'm not gonna lie, like it was a hard year. Last year and this year were really, really not fun or great. They put me through the ringer, like bad hard. Um, and like a great lesson learned, I think, is that it's worthwhile to invest in convenience sometimes and to like make your life easier as you can and like save room for life to be hard kind of and enable you to do your favorite things easier. So, like, I, like, played guitar so much more because I spent $20 once, and now instead of getting out a laptop and having to do that and that being such a barrier for entry every time I wanna do one of my favorite, like, hobbies, I can just use the app. So, with that in mind, feel free to spend money on Reflow and Hack Arcade. There's no telling the changes you will notice in your life as a product of it. So, yeah. It's been a good year. It was a hard year though. It was really, 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 really hard. But that's how diamonds are made, baby. Oh, Bridgerton. I liked the new season of Bridgerton too. I like Bridgerton a lot. I like Penelope a lot. So I really enjoyed that we got a Penelope season. I know there is a lot of criticism about this season, but I loved it. So let's see. Anything more? Um, We're trying out Buffer for content scheduling, and I have high hopes for that. I could see it becoming a 2025 fave. Uh, I like what's really stood out to me compared to other platforms is content scheduling tools is the tier levels and how you can lock certain people out of it or make certain people admin, and I think you can divide up your content scheduling stuff pretty cleanly, and I like that. Um, oh, Diet Coke with lime, baby. Diet Coke with lime. That has absolutely been a 2024 favorite for me. I went to Canada and the first restaurant we went to, I ordered Diet Coke. Um, and they brought me a Diet Coke with a lime wedge. And I was like, oh my God, is this Canadian? And so I thought, this is so fun. I very much am a person that when I travel, I like to do the things. Like I like to like really truly embrace the experience. So of course, like we're in Canada, I'm having poutine. I'm ordering Diet Coke just for myself though, yeah? And they bring it with lime. I'm like, is this Canadian? But I didn't ask. I just assumed. And so I spent the rest of the vacation having Diet Coke Lime and, thinking it was Canadian, and I think it was just that first pub we went to did it. So, yeah, let's see. Football. Oh my god, sports. Sports has been such a 2024 fave for me. I am not a sports girl. I never played sports growing up. I did dance lessons, but, like, I did not do anything that involved a ball or running track and field or anything. No. I did not. Um, and so I don't have family that is really that big. My mom likes football, but, kind of we have only we've never been a sports family, and so I've never really understood the hype. Well, this year I learned the beautiful joys of sports and how people just get together once a week and they hang out and they watch sports. Like, yes, we watch, but like it's also kind of just a fun excuse, a fun given. I love routine. I do really well with routine and structure. And so the idea that like every Wednesday, my friend has a volleyball game and we're going to hang out. I love that. It was so special and important to me this year. Um, and then like the fact that like, okay, we'll probably watch the Cowboys game together, but depending on work schedules, like, mm, football's on Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, and so we may hang out on Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays based on work schedules. Like, that just being something to, like, factor in and keep in mind and, like, think about as I'm going through the week. But, it's just so special, and I started seeing the whole world. It changed my whole worldview a little bit because all of a sudden it wasn't like these are the people that get overly involved in sports and they yell at their TV and I don't know, like people like get brutalized outside of stadiums because their team lost or won or whatever. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's what sports has always been, this caricature of, I'm sorry, kind of meatheadedness. And I feel like my perspective really shifted this year. And realized that, like, no, it's like kind of sweet that, like, we're all bonding over this thing. And it's like kind of just like it's a game with rules. And we like it so much that we're hanging out in parking lots for it. And like, we go, do you want to hang out on Sunday? And we go, hey, should we all wear the same color? Like, it's sweet. It's really sweet. I didn't think about it like that until it became that. and I was like, "Oh, this is fun. This is really fun." So, I, like, kinda know some of the sports players' names now, specifically football. I toe dipped with the Dallas Mavs, um, at the beginning of the summer, I guess. I'm still figuring out when sports seasons are, but we were doing basketball, I think, at the beginning of the summer, May time, and so we watched the Mavs, and that was very much a gateway drug. I was ready to lock in come football season, and I think it started in August. Um, so yeah, sports has been a 2024 fave for me. Um, oh, closed-toed shoes. Another thing that, like, who would have thought? I really don't love closed-toed shoes because it is hot as hell here always. I live in Texas, and, sandal weather is always, and, um, yeah, I don't know why either, because it's hard for me to wrap my mind around the outfits now, but I used to be like, I don't know the balance of an outfit used to feel thrown off by having closed-toed shoes on. I just didn't know how to style them, and, I have worn so many closed-toed shoes even in the summer this year. It was really crazy, and all of that is because, in part, I got little elastic, um, shoelaces, and so I can just slip my shoes on and off. Should I do ASMR of it? Let me make sure I don't knock over my Diet Coke. We're steady. And then to put it back on, you just slide it on and off. Literally so easy, so fun. So my two like most worn tennis shoes, I have elastic laces in them, and then my other closed-toed shoes are Chelsea boots. They're my Blundstones, and so I can just slide them on and off too. So yeah, big year for closed-toed shoes for me. Really fun. Is that it? I'm trying to think of any other fun categories. I got a camera. I This year I got a personal nice camera. I realized that it's kind of dumb and unconscionable that I went to school for radio, television, and film, and I don't really have any equipment of my own. So I invested in a Canon EOS RP, and I do miscellaneous things with it, like outside of work. My mom does realty, and so I'll take pictures for her sometimes, stuff like that. And it's been good for me at work too to be building that muscle outside of work. So that's been a fave. My sister too is such a I was always like the little sister taking photos. My sister was way more into, like, video making and photography growing up, but, like, as we grew up, I would come with her to, like, school shows or whatever, because I was the person that would take pictures with her and her friends of her and her friends, like, after the concert or whatever. Um, so, I don't know, that's just always been a dynamic. I think it's very common with sisters where, like, you take pictures for each other or whatever. Um So that's been like a fun thing because my sister got a puppy this year, and so I've brought my camera every time I've gotten to see her, and we've done little puppy photo shoots too, which has been fun. Um, is that it? I keep asking myself that and then talking on and on and on for more. Um, but we're at 30 minutes for the live stream. Do you know you have 30 minutes? Oh, favorite podcast. So definitely always Eagle Nine Locked. And then if not Eagle Nine Locked, I've been listening to So True by Caleb Heron, and that has been such a favorite podcast this year. Caleb Heron is like probably like top fave 2024 comedian celebrity person that I have followed this year. I just like think so highly of him and I can't say enough good things. So absolutely, absolutely love Caleb Heron. Trying to think if there's anyone else that's really been impactful to me this year. Obviously, like all my friends, with peace and love to them. Peace, love, and light. Uh, Horses. It's been a big year for horses for me. I'm a horse girl through and through. My little horse. So cute. My friend got me that for Christmas. I love it really a lot. Um, yeah. I have had a horse girl year, which has been fun. I rode horses for my birthday in June. That was like my big birthday event that I did. Through the mountains, horses through the mountains. I love horses and I love mountains. So, like, actually, like, can't think of anything better. Um, but I do love that like cowboy vibes are in and there's horses everywhere. Um, oh, the Rode Wireless Go microphones. We got Rode Wireless Go microphones at work and they're so cool. I think they work so cool and so well. And they're so easy to use. I think that's probably some of my favorite, like, equipment we've gotten to play with this year. We got a camera at work too. We have the Sony FX30, I think, and I really like it. Um, I guess that's a wrap. We all know I could just go on and on and on and on and on, but, I'm going to cut it off there. And I wish you all a very, very happy holidays and a happy new year. Thank you for tuning in to the Driven Catalyst live streams. I hope you will come back for more in 2025. Hope you have a great Friday, and I will see you next year. Cheers.